from the road for today as I'm heading home. I'm actually heading home a little bit early today because my son has his meet the teacher type thing. He's starting middle school, so he gets to go see the school and meet all his teachers and all that sort of stuff. And me and my wife are heading over there shortly after I get home for us to go meet the teachers and all. But he had to go over there early. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, today I want to talk about something that's been sort of bopping around in my mind. Just kind of a question that I've kind of been asking myself a little bit. So here goes the question to sort of start the thought process. How many of you have ever been talking to someone about something, whatever it is, and you've either been this person, because I can admit I have been, or you've been on the receiving end of this person, but you get onto a topic where the person has like a real just passion for the thing, something they really enjoy talking about, they really enjoy doing, and you ask them, hey, so do you like music? And they go off on a 45-minute just warp speed rant about all the different things, and they've got so much to say about it, right? And you almost can't get a word in edgewise. Now, I will admit I have been that person. There are certain things that if I get to talking about them, I'll just go on and on and on, and half the time I won't be paying attention to see if the person listening is still even paying any attention. And to be fair, we all do that for certain things. We've all also been on the receiving end of that, where we ask just a simple question and it turns into the 45-minute long rant. So, either way, the question I've been asking is, what causes us to do that? Why does a person start talking about a subject, whatever it is, and then just get engrossed into that subject and talk on and on and on and on and on, and they can't shut up about it? Good question, right? And the answer is because it's something you have a passion and a love for. If you are a car guy, I'm not. But if you're someone who, is into like fixing up cars and stuff like that, then if someone starts asking you about cars, you're going to start telling them about, your 18-liter, 50 horsepower, whatever. I'm making that up. I know that 50 horsepower is not anything, but the point being, you're going to start talking about, the last car you rebuilt, what you did to the carburetor, and what type of spark plug you use, and all this different stuff, right? Now, they may not want to know all that, right? But because it's something you got a passion for, you're going to go into it. For me, it's like, guitars and stuff like that. I can get real just geeky into it and just talk about all the stuff that people have no clue what I'm talking about. I do that with my wife a lot, to be honest with you. I'll get excited about something like a part I figured out, or an effect I'm playing with, or whatever. And I'll go start talking to her about it, and I can tell about 10 seconds into the conversation that I've lost her. Not because she doesn't care about me. She doesn't care about the thing I'm talking about, but she does care about me. But that's not the reason I've lost her. I've lost her because half the time it's because I'm using words that have no meaning to her, right? Because I'm so into what I'm talking about that I'm just talking about it and not listening, or at least not making that connection to the person I'm talking to see, are they still following with me, or am I just talking to myself here? So, the questions that go along with that in my mind is, one, do we get that engrossed and excited and just passionate when we're talking to people about Jesus and about God? Or do we kind of have like this, I got to, I'm supposed to, so I'll mention Jesus. Okay, you're not interested, that's fine. Guilty. Because that's a tough one. Why it's harder to be worried about being, rejected by somebody because of that than it is to be rejected because they figure out you're an absolute dork, which I am. I don't know. But it just is. That's human nature, right? But do we get that same level of just obsessive, passionate desire to talk about it, or are we just kind of, well, I'm supposed to, I've got to, so here we go, Jesus, oh, never mind, okay, good. That'll convict you a little bit. And to go along with that, let's say you do have that passion when you're talking about Jesus. There are people out there who have it. There's people out there who have just a gift for evangelism. They can tell a tree about Jesus, right, with no problem. If that's you, that's awesome. God will use that. But remember what I talked about, when I talked to my wife about my guitar stuff, music, and that sort of thing, and she just kind of looks at me like, eyes glazed over because she has no clue what I'm talking about, and I don't notice. Now, I've gotten where I try to do better about noticing, but it's easy to get carried away with what I'm talking about and zone out and not notice that I've lost her. When you are telling people about Jesus, you have to have that discernment to keep an eye open, keep an eye on that person to figure out if you've lost them. Because it's easy, just like it is with any other thing you're passionate about, to start throwing words out there that the person who doesn't know about the thing isn't going to understand. If you're talking to someone who has never been to a church, has no background about Christianity, instead of using words like sanctification and these big words that we use, especially those of us who've been who've been pastors, who've been to college for Christian studies, we can throw out some really big words and we know exactly what they mean. But Joe Blow down the street doesn't know what that means. If you start throwing those words out, you're going to lose the people. They're going to be like, I don't know what he's talking about. And they're going to tune you out. So, just some random thoughts. As I'm driving home, I'm getting to close-ish here, about halfway. So y'all comment down below if you've got something you're a geek about, just because it's always fun to find that out. And if you've got any thoughts on this topic, this process, this rambling I've done, feel free, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so let's try to be obsessively, geekily passionate about telling people about Jesus. But while we do it, let's make sure we keep an eye out and our spirit out to make sure that we're not using too many words they don't know, that we're not making it too complicated, that we don't lose them because of our excitement, if that makes any sense. Anyway, y'all have a great one.